Staten Island, NY. It was nothing but love for Pete Davidson on Sunday night when the Saturday Night Live star took the stage at the St. George Theatre for 2 sold-out shows with John Mulaney. "I thought I was gonna get booed and or shot," Davidson joked during the 7 p.m. show, "and I deserve it, but the reception was quite the contrary." The audience, made up of millennials, baby boomers, everyone in between and even Davidson's mother, embraced the 25-year-old hometown comedian with open arms. No boos, no heckles, just laughs and lots of applause. And a few people who had to be removed for using their cell phones, and despite Davidson's reputation for ripping the borough, he was sincere when talking about the island. "I like being here," the Great Kills native responded when asked how it feels to be back home during a question and answer segment at the end of the show. "I just don't like the people that I grew up with. I think that's the common misconception. I don't want you guys to die, I want them to." Davidson even admitted to reading the negative comments about himself. "I read your comments on Still Live, F.A., he joked. "Hi, Pete. Thanks for reading." Pete Davidson movie adds Bill Burr to the cast. Release date set for 2020. The film centers on the Saturday Night Live star's life growing up on Staten Island. Davidson, who wore overalls with one strap down and a sweatshirt featuring cartoon superhero versions of himself and Mulaney, did manage to take one shot at the borough during his show, thanking the audience for coming to the worst part of the island as he took the stage. But that was it. During the rest of his 30-minute set, Davidson entertained the crowd with jokes about a friend who almost died, ordering room service in a hotel in the middle of the night, and helping care for his friend's kids. In fact, Carmen Lynch, who opened the show, and Mulaney had more to say about Staten Island than Davidson. Mulaney joked about the St. George Theatre, dripping in gold despite it opening in 1929, the same year as the stock market crash. He also talked about how he wanted to make a horror movie based on his experiences of visiting Davidson on Staten Island and coming across historic Richmond town at night. "It's a abandoned colonial village. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't have that. That's upsetting," he quipped. Riding a wave of Staten Island references, he made fun of the borough's narrow streets, its abundance of police officers and the mob. After Mulaney's set, which included stories about near-death experiences and being mistaken for another actor, Davidson joined him on stage for the question and answer segment. The audience's questions covered all the bases, from Davidson's favorite footwear and plans for future tattoos to being on SNL. One woman even asked Davidson if he wanted to get high with her after the show. He politely declined. Davidson, who smoked a cigarette on stage while taking questions, admitted that it wasn't his first time performing at the St. George Theatre. He got his start doing tap at Mrs. Rosemary's Dance Studio. "Is that still a place, Mrs. Rosemary's?" Davidson asked, getting a roaring response from the crowd.